Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Robinson here. We are continuing our studies. We are reviewing for the 8th grade New York State Mathematics exam. So this is our show number 1 for 2021. We're going to be taking examples from the 2019 exam. If you need help with your homework, there's Dial a Teacher Homework Helpline at 212-777-3380, Monday to Thursday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Give them a call. They're very nice people. Don't forget to watch our show Math Time on Tuesdays at 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Optimum Cablevision, Channel 15, only in Peekskill. Don't forget, I also have YouTube study videos. My channel name is Dan Robinson, PKMS. Subscribe to our channel. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. We're nearing that mark. Give us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing. Write us a comment. I do write back. Check out our latest release called PKMS Math Prep 21, The Pandemic. You can tweet me at drobmath1. All right, let's get started. Question number 1 from the 2019 test stated, which graph represents a linear function of x? All right, well, linear is a good word to know, and let me pull that out there. When you see the word linear, the first 4 letters are spelled line, and we're talking about a straight line. So I'm automatically going to get rid of 2 of my choices because they are not straight. So that'll narrow things down. So A and C are curves, and they're not linear. Okay? And as you go along, you'll find out what they're all called. But our choices are narrowed down now to B and D. They are lines. So how do you differentiate? Because they want a linear function of x. So linear function. Well, that means since it's functioning, there's got to be some rate of change going on. So that's the key thing that you have to know, rate of change. And we call that ROC for short. So rate of change, as in a slope. So there's something that's sloping. And if you remember, delta y over delta x is the formula to know that it's changing. So let's look at what's going on in choice letter B. So it's changing from this spot to that spot, going over and down. So there is a ROC or rate of change there, even though it's negative. Now this one, it just seems to be going straight up. It's not changing anywhere. So I'm not able to make a stair step, as you may have heard in your class. So there is no rate of change. So I'm not going to go with D. I'm going to pick B as my choice for the rate of change. All right, that's what's linear. So if you pick B, great. If you didn't, rewatch the video and check out rate of change. All right, here we go. Question number 4 stated, a company makes 2 different size ice cream cones. So that's important, cones. The smaller cone, and there are 2 of different size, the smaller cone, so let's talk about the smaller cone, is 3.5 inches tall and has a diameter of 3 inches. So that's the smaller cone. Now there's a larger cone, has a 5.1 inch, is 5.1 inches tall and has a diameter of 4.5 inches. So the question they're asking us is about how much greater. So that means there seems to be some type of subtraction. To the nearest tenth, so they're rounding off, of a cubic inch is the volume, good word, volume, of the larger cone than the volume of the smaller cone. So they're talking volume of a cone. So one thing you have good going for you, there is a formula sheet. So on the formula sheet, you need to look up the volume formula for a cone. And there it is down there. So let's go to another sheet and pull it out a little easier. So the volume formula for a cone is 1/3 pi r squared times the height. So what we're going to do is we're going to definitely use our calculator for this, but we'll get to the smaller cone. S for smaller, I'll put over here, and I'll put down what I need to know for the volume. For the smaller cone, we have, I'll get our formula, 1/3 pi r squared height. So let's keep that on one side and put in our information. So the smaller cone has a height of 3.5. So we'll need that. It says it has a diameter. If you remember from my other videos about the diameter is the line that cuts a circle into two equal parts. So we don't need that. We need the r, which is the radius. So I need half of that. So I need half of that. That'll be the radius. So the diameter is 3 inches. Well, I don't need 3 inches. I need half of that. Half of 3 would be 1.5. So you can write 1.5 for the radius, and I'm going to square that. Let's square that, put a little 2 up there. And I'm going to multiply that by 1/3 and pi. So what I did was I substituted for the radius, the diameter. The diameter was equal to 3. So I took the radius, which is half of that, which will be divided by 2, which equals 1.5. So that's how I got the 1.5. And it says I have to put a little square there. So I'll put the little square there. And my height was 3.5. So all I got to do is get my calculator. So let me get my calculator up and type all that stuff in. So I have a nice calculator. 1/3. Let's go down. 1/3. Move over. Pi. And 1 point, and put in parentheses 1.5. Put that in parentheses. Square that. And multiply that by 3.5. 3.5, the height. And all of that will give me 8.24 and some other stuff. So I'll shrink that down and put that right there. All right, that's the smaller cone. So I got its dimensions. Now I got a larger cone to deal with. All right, so let's get the larger cone information. Again, the volume formula is 1/3 pi r times height. Okay, so the larger cone has a height of 5.1. So it's 5.1. Let's replace that with 5.1. So that's the height. And a diameter. So it has a diameter also of 4.5. So if you remember what I said about the diameter, it's the long line, and I don't need the diameter. I need a radius, which is half of that. So the diameter is 4.5. I need half of that. So I'm going to take half of that, which is 4.5 divided by 2, which gives me 2.25. And if you think money, $4.50 divided by 2 is $2.25. So my radius is going to be 2.25. And don't forget, you got to square that. So I'm going to square that. And now let me put back everything else. 1/3 and pi. So my radius is 2.25, and I have to square it, multiply by 5.1. So let's get my calculator out one more time. Move it over here this time. And let's clear this. So I got to use my fraction 1/3. times pi. R is 2.25, so I'll put that in parentheses because my radius is 2.25. Close parenthesis and put a little square exponent there. And I got to multiply that by the height, which is 5.1. Press enter, and there is my volume of this larger cone. Now, it looks like we're finished, but we're not quite finished yet because they said how much greater or how much bigger to the nearest tenth of a cubic inch is the volume of the larger cone than the volume of the smaller cone. Well, the volume of the smaller cone we got, and the volume of the smaller cone we got, we want to know how much larger is that. So I'm just going to subtract, and notice it says answer, so that answer I got from the volume of the larger cone. I'm going to subtract the volume of the smaller cone, 8.246680716, and I center, and I come up with a lot of stuff here. Boy, let's paste that over here. So 18.79, and I'm supposed to round that off to the nearest tenth, they say. There's a lot of work for this one question. So I'm going to come up with 18 point, well, remember nearest tenth is one place after the decimal. I go to the next spot, which is the hundredths place. If it's 5 or above, I would shove up the 7 by 1. If it's 4 or below, I would let all that stuff go and just keep the 7. So it is a 9. So I'm going to shove up the 7 by 1 and make it 18.8, which is choice A. So my answer is going to be for this question, choice A. Very nice work. So it's good we had the volume formula to help us out. So it was a lot of calculator work and substitution, knowing about our radius and diameter in order to help us out with, so that way we wouldn't mess up. So be very careful on this question. It's a very good question. So I hope you understand what's going on. If not sure, rewatch the video and see what we did, and hopefully you'll get it. Bring in your questions, and I'll be glad to answer them. You can write me at drobinson@peekskillschools.org. All right, let's keep going. Which statement best describes in a scatter plot where the y values are decreasing as the x values are increasing? All right, well, let's see. Let me get a graph, and I'm just going to use the first quadrant, and here's my x line on the x-axis, and here's my y-axis, and we're talking about a scatter plot where you have a lot of dots, and I'm going to draw it like this because the y's are decreasing, so as I are going down, so they're going down, and the x's are increasing, so they're going up. So suppose this is like 100, from 0 to 100, and this is could be 100 up here, and it's going down as we go down on the y values. They say we're here at 50, so, and the x value is way over here now, so it would be up here, so maybe 50. So so we're going to definitely look at this as a going negatively sloped. So a vertical line, which means the line is going straight up and down, so that's not true. The y value is not going straight up and down, so that's not good. Horizontal line would be going straight across, and the y value would be remaining the same, whereas the x value would be increasing, so that's not good. The data can be best modeled by the positive slope. Well, positive slope, if you remember, that's going up. So the y values are increasing, and so are the x values. So everything is increasing. So that's not it. So it's got to be D, where it's a negative slope. And if you can tell what's happening here in our model, the line seems to be sloping on the line of best fit, seems to be sloping downwards. So that's something you should get to know when you're talking about the slopes and how they're going. So that would be a negative slope where the y value is decreasing as the x value increases. So I'm going to go with choice D. All right, here's my last question for you. So the approximate area of two states are listed below. Texas, 2.69 times 10 to the fifth power square miles. Rhode Island, 1.21 times 10 to the third power square miles. Determine the differences. Let me underline that because differences means I have to subtract in square miles between the area of Texas and the area of Rhode Island. So write your answer in scientific notation. All right. Well, the first thing I would say is get your calculator and let's clear all this stuff out of there and type 2.69 times 10, and there's an exponent arrow to the fifth power, and my calculator does it nicely. Press that, and that's what it looks like when I 269 and 3 zeros, 269,000. So that's release that. So that's what the square mileage area of Texas is. Let me get my calculator one more time. And 1.21 times 10 to the third, 10, raise that up to the third power, and that is equal to 1,210 square miles for the area of Rhode Island. They want to find the differences of the square miles between these two areas, so I need to subtract. So let me subtract that with my calculator. So 269,000, 1, 2, 3 zeros, minus 1,210. That'll give me 790, sorry. So let's pull that over here. So let's release that. So once I subtracted 267,790 miles, but they said write that in scientific notation. If you remember how to write in scientific notation, the decimal point goes between the first and second number. And remember, it's got to be between 0 and 10, less than 10. So I'm going to have 2.6779, and I don't need the 0, but you can write the 0 if you want to. So, but I'm going to now count my significant digits that are behind the decimal point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are five places. So I'm going to put this right here, a little 5 right there, to make that scientific notation. So I have 2.6779 times 10 to the fifth power. And let me get my calculator just to prove that. So let's say, and move this over. 2.6779 times 10 to the fifth power, raise that to the fifth power, and I should get what I just have above that, and I do have that, 267790, and that's what I get. So it does come out to that, and that's one way of doing it, but I got a calculator. Let me take advantage of that. Here, I don't know if your teacher mentioned, if you go into the mode, you have the ability to go into scientific notation mode. So let me go down to norm. This is the normal setting. I want to go to Sci, which is scientific notation setting. And I'm going to press enter. Notice it's highlighted Sci. And let me clear that. So let me clear everything here. And now I notice there's a little word Sci there. What that means is everything now that's typed into the calculator is going to be turned into scientific notation. So if I type 267,790, watch what happens when I press enter. It turns it into scientific notation for me. So that way I know I got it right. Okay? So that's a little trick you can use. Since you got a calculator, use it to your advantage. That's one way of dealing with it. So if I had a little more time, I could show you how to deal with this the other way. And let's just take a quick second, because I hate to belabor this because I don't like making long movies for you. But you could have changed this. You could have kept this as to the 10 to the fifth power, but you could have changed this to 10 to the fifth power by moving the decimal point 2 places to the left. And if you check out my video on adding in scientific notation, I show you how to do that. But I'd move this 2 places to the left and make that 0.0121 times 10 to the fifth power. So that way I can now subtract in scientific notation these numbers, 2.69 times 10 to the fifth power, because you have to have the same exponents in order to add or subtract. So now I can subtract. So I'll put some zeros here, and let me subtract. Borrow 1 from this 9, make that an 8. That'll be a 10, make that a 9. That'll be a 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 2 is 7. 8 minus 1 is 7. 6 minus 0 is 6. And 2 minus 0 is 2. And times 10 to the fifth power, that stays the same. So if you notice, I still get the same thing I have over here. 2.6779 times 10 to the fifth power. So you might want to check out my video on subtracting scientific notation if you desire to change it that way. But I say use a calculator, because a calculator is a lot easier and more efficient than we can do, and doing all this might make a mistake, because it didn't say you can't use your calculator for scientific notation. So use it to your advantage. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I hope you get it now. If you're not sure what's going on, rewatch the video, write your questions down, and email me, and I'll be glad to send you an answer to what's going on. If you need also help, there's Dial a Teacher Homework Helpline. They help you out with your homework. You can call them at 212-777-3380, Monday to Thursday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Give them a call. They can really help. I also have other tutorial videos on YouTube. My channel name is Dan Robinson. Subscribe to my channel. Help us to get to 1,000 subscribers. Give us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing. Write us a comment, because I do write back. Check out our latest release, PKMS Math Prep 21. It's a good movie about the pandemic. You can tweet me at drobmath1. Don't forget to watch our show Math Time on Tuesdays on channel 15, Optimum Cablevision at 4:30 to 5 p.m. only on Tuesdays, and it's only in Peekskill. If you desire some more worksheets on this topic, some more information on this topic, you can write me at drobinson@peekskillschools.org. I'll be glad to send you something. Hey, there's Math Prep 21. We look for our commercial on it. Just type in the browser PKMS Math Prep 21, and you'll see something come up, maybe the movie or the commercial. So good luck on your state test. I know you're going to do well, because you've been watching my videos. So let me know how you do. I'll be glad to hear from you. Hopefully this video will help you. So I hope you enjoyed our presentation of the study skills for the New York State review for the grade 8 state tests. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.